Corey, Joseph, and Jesus. Boys and girls, we are back with another episode of the Too Good For You podcast.
That's right.
Folks, this week it's going to be an interesting episode. As you can see, we are joined by a beautiful guest. This guest, I don't even know. I mean, this is crazy. These are two of my longest friendships I have in the room right now. I've known this gentleman for, how old am I? 26, probably almost 20 years at this point.
Wow.
Officially, you've known him for about almost 20 years.
We technically knew each other like
since we were baby.
Yeah.
That's
But
crazy.
we've been friends for almost 20 years. But yeah, so this is my boy Mitchell, dude. He's in the building. Woo! How's it going, man?
pretty good. How you guys doing?
Good, man.
We're living life, doing the show, doing what we do, man.
That's right.
But yeah, so I mean, aside from Mitchell being one of my longest friendships, it's good to have you. This is gonna be a very interesting episode, just because I feel like you have a lot of
Opinions.
things that
We love those.
that brew through your brain. And
Had a lot of time.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be a good space for you to just talk. So I don't know how would you like to introduce yourself? I don't want to be the one to do it.
Mitchell Guastella. I like to party, and I've ventured around the world a little bit and seen some stuff, and I like to talk about different opinions and get varying opinions on things and see where we're at. So
Beautiful.
There it is.
Love
Welcome.
to hear
I'm a
it.
different dude.
Welcome, man. Welcome to the pod.
Yeah.
Welcome to the pod.
Yeah, man. E-man, how you doing?
I am good. I'm good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anything you need to report on this week?
Got a tattoo. Bam.
Oh.
That's right.
Do it. Pull your dick out.
I will put my full leg on this
Put it
table.
on the table.
Just a monster tattoo on the head.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I don't even think you can see that.
So you just got a free show of me getting onto the table. But
Wow.
anyways, I'll put a picture up or something.
There you go.
Yeah. So
Well,
yeah, I got a got a little tat.
New tattoo since last week.
That's right. Yeah.
How did
Nice skull.
it go?
It went
hurt?
good. No, you know what? You know what's crazy? Tyson scared the shit out of me when I said I wanted my knee tattooed, and he's like, "Bro, you know how much that hurts?" And I was like, "What?" And then I looked up on Google pain index for tattoos, and I saw the knee area was like the reddest, which is like the most pain.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
Not
when
that bad.
I did it, and it hurt more in my thigh than it did on my actual knee. It was just
Interesting.
like weird because like you could feel the bone,
Mhm.
and that was like the craziest part for me. But other than that, it was very tolerable. I'm pretty sure. Shout out my tattoo artist, Devin. She was talking to me throughout the whole thing, so I think that took away a lot of like the pain, just distracted me.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude, good times. Ready for my another one. Next one.
How many do you have?
1, and then 2 and 3. Only 3.
Nice.
So I want to get blasted.
How are you up to now?
I have like 7.
Yeah, Tyson's my inspiration right now.
I should not be an inspiration. I have nothing. I'm not even close, and I take way too long to finish things. I'm
Well-
horrible with tattoos.
Well, yeah. So
My problem is I want to travel more and get tattoos as I go places.
that's hard.
Because
That's dope.
I've done that a couple times and that's been fun. So
Have you ever done the stick one?
no, I want to, but I've looked into it a little bit, and it's actually it's kind of hard to find the legit version of it. Because I was gonna go to Japan. That trip got like kind of sidelined, but. I was gonna go to Japan. I was looking into trying to do it there, and apparently they don't act
They
like
don't
it's
like tattoos at all.
no, they don't. And I was like, oh, I was
Yeah.
kind of surprised by that because there's all these beautiful Japanese style tattoos, and I'm like, oh, there's gotta be like, and apparently no, they all just leave and come to like L.A. and do their
It's 'cause
work
it's
here.
like Yakuza. Like,
Exactly.
that's what
It's got a bad
that's what they-
association.
Yeah, but dude, Japanese art. I want to get my whole arm done in that style.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
costs money to do that stuff. So hey, subscribe to the Patreon.
If you go to like Thailand, I got these two done in Thailand, and it was $300, but they'll pay for your hotel.
wait,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, and it was right. I think that was when I was in Pattaya. No, that was when I was in Bangkok, and
Dude, that's sick.
It was I think it was in Soy Cowboy, which is like a pretty like chill area, and it's right next to like an adult playground, which is insanely wild. But yeah, so I got them there, and they were like, "Oh, if you come get more done by us, then you stay at this hotel behind us for free." And I was
That's
like,
sick.
huh,
They're probably like,
okay, I might
it's
do that."
closer. It's closer. He's the guy's gonna come in.
So Soy Cowboy is Thailand's red light district.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay,
sick.
It's like
I got you.
Sick.
it's the second version of Amsterdam, basically. So everything there is basically available.
Of course. Okay.
It's from shroom smoothies to
A smoothie.
lots of massages, lots of massage places.
Yeah.
Of course.
It's
yeah.
it's an interesting thing to see for sure. I was very excited that I was able to see it after because I was so disgusted by what I saw. It was insane. Like, now that's one that I could go into a rabbit hole on. Unfortunately, there's some Americans over there that are abusing their money that goes so far over there.
Oh, I bet.
Mhm.
I bet.
Yeah. I mean, we can just get into it in terms
beautiful.
of.
There was a lot of cool temples. The weather was insanely wild. It was like orange everywhere you looked because it was
Orange?
it was like overcast, but it wasn't like normal overcast because it was like 95 degrees in overcast. So it had a weird tint to everything.
Yeah.
So you'd look off in the distance and it'd be like a haze. I don't know if that's because the air quality index was so bad, but
You ever notice that in like foreign movies? Like a lot of it is like orange or yellow.
kind of.
yeah, that's
Kuwait
really
had that tint because there's just
Yeah.
sand in the air all the time.
So,
Mhm.
hey,
Yeah. I mean, like you said, like you're a decently world traveler.
I want to do more. I want to do a lot more.
Of course. I mean, there's always places to go, but you have gone to a lot. If I don't know if you want to just like name off a few places. So we got Thailand.
I liked Spain a lot. Spain was very beautiful. The weather was very, very similar, like California. They talk about it all the time, and like very
Really?
similar. What's the term? Like geography, like
beach,
the land,
mountains.
yeah, coastal
Yeah.
desert kind of thing. Like very similar, and so that's why they grow a lot of grapes there for the wine and stuff like that. Grow a lot of fruits and stuff. But no, it was beautiful. It was that was a place where I would love to go back to it. It was very relaxing. The people like they work, but they take like 2 hours off every day. They got what's it called?
Work-life balance.
Yeah, it's a lot happier over there. It's a lot less focused on the drive of making money and trying to like get the people to enjoy the one life they have, which I kind of support.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is the optimal way
To live?
to live.
Yeah.
To keep people happy, right? Because I mean, if you're
A lot of people could take notes down here.
yeah,
On that.
it's a shitty life when your whole life is I gotta wake up, go to work, go home, and then do it again.
Yeah.
Like if that's
It's a
if
cycle.
that's everything that you have to do, then
It can be. It's hard because you can get in tangents and you can like lose yourself, and that could be difficult sometimes.
yeah.
Unless you like catch it or have someone around you that can catch it, then I mean, it happens a lot. People lose themselves in these worlds.
I mean, fuck, I almost drop a bomb. For society, our society in the moment,
Okay.
how do you think we would be able to change the way that things are? Like, do you think like capitalism is...
Bro, this is corporate America.
Of
as
course.
it is. Everything is run by money and by big businesses. I mean, there's like 6 big companies that literally run everything. And to change it, I don't know. You would have to change a lot of lifestyles and a lot of mentality because, I mean, a lot of people grow up thinking like this is the way of life. They don't realize like or travel and see that there's different avenues to explore. But down here, I mean, everything's run by money. And you can't even get anything or go anywhere or do something without money. So that's why it's like people live to work just to live. If that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
What?
Excuse me.
No, you're good. Do you think there's any sort of potential solutions that we could come up with? Both of you guys want to answer.
That's the one I dive into a lot because I've met a lot of different people from different areas. And talking to someone from North Georgia versus talking to someone from LA is 100% different. Like,
Of course.
Because the lifestyle is different.
yeah, you're
everything
still
out there is
American.
different.
You're both American.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You follow the majority of the same federal laws and stuff, but like the mindsets are just
What would be the
Vastly
biggest
different.
difference that you noticed? I guess in that aspect.
over here. We're real fast.
Oh,
we
very
buy
true.
stuff real fast. We care about like who has the newest thing, who has the nicest thing. Sometimes unintentionally, we're just a little bit narcissistic in the fact that we want to prove ourselves better than our peers, which doesn't, at the end of the day, amount to much. But in that moment, we've associated this feeling of success and happiness with it, which they don't necessarily have over there, which they have other stuff. They go hunt, and they got their guns, and they got way different things that they enjoy and they put their money towards and their trucks and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, a lot of the stuff that they do is a lot more towards their family and friends rather than like
Different mentality.
different mentality. A lot of them are Bible Belt though, and
Yeah.
they're a little stuck in the God-fearing ways as well.
I mean, it's it's with this with the saying Southern hospitality, right? So you
Yeah.
just feel like aside from that Bible Belt and very kind of like strict hardcore lifestyle, hopefully they tend to have a more sense of just like welcome. Where out here, like we said, it's more
Everyone's for
just
themselves.
Yeah, everyone is for
Yeah, that's
themselves.
what it
Like
is.
it's whatever I can do to get a leg up on this person or on my job or just any random person on the street. Like, how can I just be better than everyone instead of just being like, hey man.
Yeah.
We could be a collective. We could do this together, but
Amen.
nah. Like,
So that's where someone like me gets a little upset. So I've read like really old books from like 129 AD,
Okay.
and I've read like books from like 1980s, 1960s, and a lot of like revolutionary times kind of thing where stuff's changing rapidly and people are like battling, and we're kind of doing that again. So I feel like it's good to look at that stuff, but it is insane in the fact that at the end of the day, people have never changed. Like, there's always two sides battling about something. There's always outliers that just like either cause havoc or want to cause peace. And then there's just the mass in the center that just gets moved, like with all this stuff. And it seems like that's what's happened forever. So I've kind of accepted that. And I don't know. I still try to find ways that we could fix stuff, but it does seem like at the end of the day, it's like,
history repeats itself either way. That's
Yeah.
very much. I mean,
Humans are, unfortunately very simple species. I don't think we're as complex as we like to think we are.
this is why
sometimes-
aliens do not come down to us.
They don't give a fuck. They're like, bro, these guys
We're not at their level
dumb.
yet.
Like,
We're throwing darts at asteroids right now. So
That was kind of cool. I mean, like, that was weird. That came out of nowhere.
yeah, we're out of nowhere. Yeah.
humans 1, dinosaurs 0. Baby. Fuck your asteroids.
Yeah, like,
But no, I mean, yeah, in terms of just like mentalities, I think humans are, yeah, I agree. Humans are very just, we follow a very simple path, which has always been to be the best, right? Regardless how you feel about yourself, like people can be like, oh, like I don't care, or like, oh, I'm more open, but there's still some innate kind of like ingrained philosophy in humans where like you need to succeed and be better than someone else because someone else is going to take what you think is yours. So I think that's kind of
It's a good way to
how,
think about it.
corporations have also taken over to where it's we're just going to run everything because the people can't do it, but
Hey man,
who knows.
who knows?
Let's again, so I think you were kind of saying about like two sides. I want to get into another topic about two sides of things. Jan 6.
Jan's January 6th. Okay, I was like, what is Jan 6, buddy?
January 6th. 2020.
I think Kamala Harris said that it compared to 9/11, and I don't think it compares to 9/11. It was a horrible event, but I don't think it compares to 9/11.
All right, let's give some
course.
background for the audience.
You
What happened
you don't know what
January
happened on
6th on
January
2021? No, let's give some background for people who might not know it. Come on, bud.
Might not.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it for the whole audience here.
Okay, wink, wink. I got you.
Do we want the long story short?
No, we'll talk. I mean, this is something that goes, kind of far back. It has its roots. A few years ago, kind of in the beginning of Trump's administration.
Okay.
Really during like the campaigning for the soon to be 20. When did Jan 6 happen?
2020.
January 6th.
Yeah, sorry.
I think it happened 2020.
January 26 happened on 4 years ago.
4?
Wait, what?
Shit. No.
No way, dude. Are you serious?
There was a January 6th 4 years ago.
There's a January 6th 2021, yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, what?
They're not
But-
technically wrong, though.
But yeah, okay, so this kind of, state goes back to around 2016, the beginning of Trump's election and his campaigning and stuff to essentially, I don't even know, like slander Hillary Clinton.
Okay. There's a lot going on.
To
at that
win the
time.
election, yeah. And there was a lot of like email leaks and a bunch of just crazy things that happened around the 2016, 2017 to essentially like cause some distrust or just like it almost peeled back a small curtain on like what our government kind of actually does and who the people are that we have in these positions. And so on January 6, 2021, after Donald Trump lost the election, there were a fairly large group of Trump supporters who stormed the Capitol.
Okay, I remember that.
Oh, now you remember.
Oh, it's for the audience. Remember again? It was again for the audience. So you're
Yes.
welcome.
Yeah, and so you had a group that it says almost more than 2,000 people showed up. So a group of 2,000 people who essentially stormed the state capitol or the Capitol, just in defiance of an election. And there's a kind of a lot of weird back story to it, which revolves around like QAnon and just like conspiracy theories that might have gone a little too far. But yeah, it's it's one of those things where we're saying that like there's a lot of like there's two sides to an argument, right? Where you're going to have people who are going to trust, an election process that's been used for thousands of years, or you're going to, listen to things on the internet that are essentially going to, change your whole view and then go and try to take down the United States Capitol.
I mean, think about like now in society how with social media and everything, like information is this fast, but not everything's proofed, or like not a lot of people back it, or like get like resources and see where those sources are coming from. Like nowadays, someone on Facebook could post like The Onion, post some like random ass shit, but people repost it, believe it just because of the title, the headline, and it's like you gotta people don't fact check. In the end of it, people don't fact check that.
I mean,
and I think that's what's ruining society now because they believe anything.
you got anything right now?
Well, I think, you run on it with social media. We just have too many people with access to the availability to say
anything.
truths. Because like unfortunately people see it and then they go and they tell their friends it, and then most of us believe our friends. So like we'll take that and be like, oh yeah, and then oh yeah, my friend said this, and then it's like it just keeps running, and then you get back to the basis of it, and you're like, oh, that was an Onion article.
Yeah, and you're over here sharing with everyone.
Or what's that B one? There's like a B one on Instagram. It's like a Republican one.
I know, like the Atlantic is also a shitty news source. But
What news sources do you guys trust? I was just looking
Twitter. I'm gonna be honest. Twitter.
I'm on Reddit, so
Twitter
I look at the Reddit.
is honestly my most reliable source of information, because anyone who's anyone, like, if it's put out, there's always going to be multiple people talking about it. So not everyone's going to be one-sided. It's not going to be like a CNN article where everyone who's commenting on that is mostly already in that field, right?
Okay,
I'm also not going to the Atlantic and like looking at there, because that's all people that want to go from there. Like on Twitter, it's like, bro, like I could just tweet something right now and have
Anything
literally
goes.
anyone just like either argue it, or people are dropping up these things that they found or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna say Twitter is probably my most.
I will say I've gotten lost on Reddit a couple times though, because some people will comment stuff, and I'm like, I have to look into it. And then I look into it, I'm like, they were full of shit. But yeah. It doesn't happen all the time.
It's a hit or miss.
Oh no, definitely. I think that's the internet as a whole. It's always been hit or miss, because, like you said, anyone could just post anything.
Yeah. True.
Like we could literally just start like
And
a
then
viral campaign tomorrow about whatever we decide to do, and then we can make it true to us. Like the birds aren't real.
The pigeons.
Have you guys heard
I
about
think it's
that?
like an Instagram account with like a lot of people following it.
Yes, but you guys kind of know what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the people that don't know, for the
Okay,
audience,
I knew this one, guys. I knew this one.
For the
Thank
audience
you.
that doesn't know, yes, there is a kid who started a meme that birds aren't real, saying that like all the birds died in like the 60s and were replaced by like surveillance drones. And so that the United States government has been spying on us, way more because of these surveillance pigeons and shit.
Some Alex Jones shit.
Yeah, and it's. I think the kid is just running with it, right? Like he's been on like news stations, like talking his point, like no, birds aren't real, but like obviously like he's memeing, but there are people, again, like I said, who are just like
Believe in it.
birds aren't real, and they're like freaking out because they're like, then they start questioning things, and it's like, all right, guys, like let's pump the brakes a little bit, like.
There's a point where philosophy can go too far sometimes. There are some people who look at a situation like, well, we can't write this off, and it's something as simple as like, hey, birds aren't real, and it's like, well, we can't write this off as like fiction, and it's like, really? Like you can't write that one off?
Yeah.
Like these are robotic
Kinda
birds?
the common sense.
You've never seen a baby bird, and it's like, that's your like point. Like okay, like, you can.
No. That's funny though.
But the kid does make a very compelling
Article.
Yeah, it's like his website is it's very like, this is a very thought out meme. It's not something that you can just kind of like you just post on like 4chan, which you probably did. But it's not just like a shitty thing that doesn't really take any effort, where you're just like, I'm just gonna throw this out there, and if it sticks, it stinks. Like, there are some people who are willing to do A+ effort just to troll people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And, unfortunately, I think that's kind of what has gotten us to where we are right now in the world. Where, I already mentioned it earlier, but this is another deep rabbit hole that Mitchell and I have gone down in the recent future about QAnon, and, people being anonymous online and saying things and getting people to relate to and believe enough to storm the United States Capitol. Right? Like, is that a meme gone too far, or that a troll effort that has gone way too far? That it's like,
or it's all part of their agenda. I mean, everyone has an agenda, and it's like.
But there's like, whose agenda?
I mean, it could, for that case, it could be like a super, 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 super big Trump supporter, whatever, and then like they develop whatever to storm the Capitol. to get people influence people to do that thing. But I don't know.
It took off. It definitely took off.
That one took off.
People,
for sure.
this is where I feel like people can look at like the psychology behind like the situation and find out, hey, people are gullible, and especially in times of trouble and times of COVID, people are at home. People have a lot of time. People are just sitting on their phones and their computers. I can imagine that the screen time after 2020 increased by at least 20% for like everybody. Just now people are like cyborgs. So yeah, no, he appeased to all of that, whoever it was. Could have been multiple people. Could be an agenda pusher.
Yeah.
We don't know. I think we don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
They don't know who like the original QAnon was, right?
There's no official name of who Q.
We think we know who the
is.
second one was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, another backstory. This one would take 50 years to try to tell. But a guy on 4chan
You go quick at this one.
slash 8chan said that they were someone in the government who had Q level access, which is a pretty high level access of information, and would just post little snippets of information on 4chan, which later he went to 8chan, about the government and, preparing for the storm and all these things. And this was stuff that started in 2018.
So it started after Pizzagate. So whenever
2017.
Pizzagate happened,
So
yeah.
2017. And they were just dropping little clues of information, and they were saying that they were a close asset to President Trump.
Interesting.
But
I didn't know all this. Like
yeah,
this
but
background.
no one really knows who
It got
is.
wild.
Yeah, this is one of the biggest conspiracy theories. But like I said, it's one of those things where like I think the meme went a little too far, and you have people who are essentially brainwashed by this shit, and there's Reddit's dedicated to people who lost their family members to this QAnon shit, where
No
they're
fucking
like yo,
shit.
my family doesn't believe in anything else except what this
Holy
person
crap.
says. And it's like, bro,
I'm sorry, but those are funny.
yeah, it's
crazy.
fucked, dude. It's crazy. It's like
Because at a certain point, you have to be like, I couldn't actually do anything. Might as well just enjoy my family.
yeah, no,
but no, just no, you
Yeah,
can't.
and it really took off, like you said, during COVID, is because everyone, there was really nothing, no real like static information about what was happening, why things are going. But then on the internet, there's just this guy on 4chan, which was taken, by those people, and then made it to digestible Facebook posts, and then you had
And
just
then
regular
everyone
Facebook.
share it.
Yeah, then everyone just Facebook moms and shit are just like, oh my gosh, what? Hillary Clinton is a vampire who eats baby blood and blah 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 blah. It's like, all right, dude, like.
Well, it actually wasn't that bad because so we were talking about this. I, by proxy, being on Reddit and Instagram and following like certain accounts that I follow, I received some of these memes that were originally QAnon posts. There was originally stuff about like, I think there was a big rabbit hole on this on like YouTube, but like the Unit 791 or 671 or that Japanese group or whatever.
731.
731. That started from QAnon, and then like there was
That one's technically real.
no, that's what I'm saying. These are some of them are real.
Yeah.
And so what we say was like 3 out of the 1,000 are real. So they attract people with them. And then people like me, I see it and I'm like, oh, let me look into that. And I look into it. I'm like, oh, well, this is wild.
Yeah.
And then so by proxy, without people even believing or thinking they believe in QAnon, they're like following kind of his agenda of just getting pissed off that the government's doing stuff
Dude,
at a horrible time because we're already fighting about everything else.
that is true.
It's a very well placed monkey wrench in like our society right now. Like they're really trying to mess stuff up, and it worked.
Yeah, it is. Wow.
We saw it. It's still working.
It's still ongoing. So it's one of those things where it's like, what can we do to fix it, right? Because the internet is supposed to be a free place where anyone can do anything and anyone can say anything. It's like,
Should it be?
when
That's a good question.
yeah, I mean, will think about this for a second so someone else can say.
What do you think?
I had this argument when I was in college, and it was like, it wasn't internet. It wasn't the internet specifically, but it was social media.
Okay. Yeah.
Should social media be free, or should it be paid? And a lot of the thing is like, social media is there for everyone. It's supposed to be like a safe place for someone to put their own thoughts, put on their own pictures, whatever. But if someone had to pay for it, would all this information that's like fake or like that are attracting these people who think of it as real, like, would that diminish? You know?
I don't think so, because I think
You
there's
don't?
Patreon accounts for QAnon still.
No way.
Yeah.
You can.
Not full
I mean, why wouldn't spending $5?
You can brainwash people into paying $5 a month.
$5 a month, like
So
Look
how
at-
much
from
would you pay
talking
for internet?
shit.
Like if
Well, if
internet
you're saying
wasn't
the
free-
internet was paid for, then that's different. But if I had to pay Instagram like $5 a month to post it on Instagram, like
I feel like a lot of people do that.
a lot of people would still do that
Yeah.
regardless. But in terms of like free speech on the internet,
Oh, free speech?
well, I mean, like I said, like the internet is a place
Not
where
free as in money. I mean free as in like anyone
the
can
ability,
use it.
the ability to
No, yeah.
speak, like.
I think it should be.
Most of the time, the internet is open source. Google blocks out some stuff, and so you could access like the Tor browser and access all the rest. But even then, it's open source basically. You can find almost anything that you are looking for on the internet, and
Yeah.
so unfortunately, sometimes that becomes a problem. Tyson and I were talking about this last night. When we were kids and we watched like a sex scene with our parents,
Yeah.
and our parents were like, "Close your eyes," and you're like 12 years old. We couldn't go to our room to open up our phone to look at the same scene on our phone after our parents
is-
just told us not to, and then Google, what is this? And then go on down a rabbit hole at 12 years old of, damn, look at this sex scene in fucking 300 or whatever movie you're watching.
I don't know. I know what scene you're talking about. That's crazy. No, but that is no. When I think about it, that is crazy. I mean, I don't know.
Because we had a computer in our family room, which was not like a thing where you could be like, porn. And everyone's just
I mean,
like,
it was, but
If no one was home.
it was loopholes that you had to jump through. Like
Yeah.
now,
You
like
don't
we were
have a
saying
private
yesterday,
browser.
there's literally nothing like.
and your phone is a.
If you give your
fucking
kid, if you
computer.
give your kid an iPad, like what's going to stop the kid from just going and just googling whatever his friend tells him at school? Or
Exactly,
all this other
yeah.
shit.
because I know I probably would. I know that a lot of us probably
Like,
would.
well,
That's the
Like I
problem.
was
It's
telling
like-
him,
yeah.
like if my like in the movies when there's like a kid who's like, I'm gonna go to my room, and he goes upstairs to his room and he has his computer like in his room and he's like doing like whatever he's doing on it. But I was like, if I had a computer in my room by myself with no restrictions from the ages of like 8 to 13, brother, I would not be here because I would be fucked up. Like we were like,
And we were at the early ages of the internet.
Yeah.
Imagine now.
just like we were barely old enough really to kind of like have that sense of where you would like go to school. We talked like this, like we would go to school and someone would be like, hey guys,
Blue waffle.
yeah,
Yo,
and you're like,
wow,
and you
that's
spend
crazy.
all day at school like, what the fuck is that? And then like
You go home.
you can't look at it when you're at school. You can't be like, oh wait, what did you say?
My
And then
Pull out
envy.
your little sidekick
and then
or
you
whatever.
pull
Like,
it up or whatever. Yeah, like you would have to
Yeah.
be like, oh shit, okay, I gotta wait, and then you gotta like go home, and then you're like, oh shit,
look it
but
up.
you don't
and
want to
then-
do it because like I don't know, like, it's bad, it's good, it's my
It is
family
true. There-
computer,
There's no
like I can't,
private
like,
browser
yeah.
that you like. Yeah, dude, evolution of technologies are crazy.
So that's so again, that's what we're saying. It's
Imagine
like,
20 years from now. It's going to be insane.
Yeah.
Bro, the information you wouldn't have to look it up. You just think about it. I'm gonna say that.
I don't
That'd
want
be
it. I don't want it.
But think about
I
that,
don't
dude.
want
Like,
it.
you
Because it hurt.
What if you have?
I feel
like,
schizophrenic.
Yeah, dude. Like, or like they have glasses now that do that. Like, I think they're Amazon glasses, and you like say something, and they look it up, and you could see it as it is.
That
But,
one's a little cooler. That one I could put up with.
But I'm saying like with that, and then 20 years later, I mean, with the rapid evolution of technology, like I don't think it's too far off to think that that could be a possibility. But
How far off are we from Wally?
so fuck, dude. I think we're on track on that, dude. Disney and
Boston
Pixar?
Dynamic dog robots
Yo.
are essentially Wally, dude.
Yo,
There's a
I-
picture of one in a ninja suit. It's so sick. It's just got a little like slit for its eyes.
That's funny. Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
they gave that fucker a gun.
Dude, they have full autonomous armies in China now.
Really?
like tanks, dogs, and then they have exosuits for the guys. It looks like COD.
warfare.
Yeah.
Exosuits
Yeah.
from fucking Avatar.
I can't
dude.
imagine that they're functional really well though. Imagine trying to break through a door with it. Yeah.
Boom. Slow as shit.
Give me the jetpack.
That'd be cool.
That
Kinda
one's
badass.
sick. $200K for a jetpack?
I don't know, man. Yeah. The world is going to be a very interesting place. I think, especially for, most millennials, because, for us and people who, obviously were around before us, like, have the weird kind of relationship with the internet and just technology in general, where it went from, like, very basic shit to all of a sudden to literally
Everything.
anything you could
Yeah.
fucking want in a matter of
One
less than
second.
20 years.
Yeah.
So at the rate we're already moving, like, kids nowadays, already getting phones or iPads from when they're very little and having just almost unlimited access to anything that they could ever want. It's going to be interesting to see how they grow up. And
So do you think
relate.
it's the technology problem or the raising of a child problem?
Will be technology, because if you don't raise your kid with technology like that, then it's not their fault.
I feel like it's more technology by proxy, just because the technology nowadays, for a lot of kids, is an escape from the.
Well, I mean,
Raising.
it's also an escape for the parents because, like, they don't want to. Like, sometimes they don't even want to deal with the kid. They're like, "Here, watch this."
But
on the iPad,
unfortunately,
you know?
that's not a good outlook. So I read a book one time. It was called The Celestine Prophecy, and it had a good take on this, and I actually liked it, and I kept it with me. So it's you only have enough energy in your body for a kid. So if you have 2 kids, for instance, you're only separating your energy 50. They're getting 50% of your energy. So both those kids are not going to get raised as well as if you just had one kid. So when you take that kid and you put it on the iPad and you don't give it any of your energy, that kid is going to get starved of like a moral compass from his parent or their parent that they should have, and they're going to get it from the internet. And that's where this information comes in.
Yeah.
And it's like, do they need all that information?
Yeah. I mean,
Of course not. They're
No.
fucking children. Like,
yeah. I mean, I think the three of us all had very similar childhoods growing up. Obviously, I can attest to Mitchell because we spent a lot of time as kids growing up, and we've talked about our childhoods growing up, and we have similar parents now, so I can imagine the way we grew up was
same
very
thing
similar.
too. Yeah.
Um,
Siblings and everything. Yeah.
But yeah, again, it's just one of those things where technology, it was a very communal thing. It wasn't a private.
Individual.
It wasn't a
Yeah.
private item, and it was something that was really not much used, or we didn't have access to it all the time, right? Like we said, you would go to school, right, and you'd have a friend who would tell you something like, "Oh, like what is or like, don't watch Two Girls One Cup," and you're like, "What?
What
the
is
fuck?"
Two Girls?
Yeah. And then next time you're at a sleepover or something, all your friends are like, "Hey, I heard this is this," and then you guys are like, it's a community thing. Like it wasn't
It is,
just
yeah.
like I'm just gonna go home and do it. Then you're just like fucking
It's all
yourself
word of
up.
mouth still.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was very
It
much.
was always
like,
a community thing. That is funny to point that out.
the internet the internet and most technology was a very communal thing. It's not. It now has become just so like individualized and just to like one person. It's not the same connection that you had because, like I said, like we remember, like we would, especially with him and like a couple of our friends growing up, like friends that had like a lot of like more lenient parents or whatever, like right, like we would be like 5 of us just huddled around a computer and just like
Yeah.
immersing ourselves in the same fucked up shit like at the same time, right? And it was something that we could
It's an
all
experience.
all cope.
Yeah.
It was something we could cope with each other because we were
Brotherhood.
all there. Now, if I go home and I'm in my room by myself and I watch some fucked up thing, I'm just messing with myself because I'm not gonna,
Unless you want to send it to.
yeah,
someone.
but that's like,
yeah.
but like, why would you do that? Because someone's gonna be like, "Yo, what the fuck is wrong with you?" Like,
That's
it's
true.
a thing. Like, but then it was all like we're all doing this together and we're all sharing this. We're trauma bonding.
Yeah,
right? We're
yeah.
sharing the same trauma of the internet because the internet at the time, was very new. No one really knew what it could do or like what people would put on there, right?
Yeah.
We had funnyjunk.com and AIM.
And Pain,
wow.
Pain Olympics and
Oh, yeah,
fucking,
Best Gore.
Live Leak
Shit.
and yeah, like but that was like for kids when we were, around 10, 11, like
Yeah.
that was something that we could just look up now.
It was just funny.
Now,
though.
if I just look it up, like it won't even take me there, right? It'll just take you to like articles and stuff like that. So a lot of the internet has kind of been like shoved under the rug to like prevent shit like
This, like
that,
that,
because but again, like if you do enough digging, like, you can find it. I made an argument with him that like, do you think kids would still look up like this traumatic shit on the internet, like if it wasn't told to you, right? Because like I said, right, if you had a friend in school
Mm-hmm.
who was just like, hey, go watch don't watch Two Girls One Cup,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do?
Well,
You're
of
gonna
course you're
fucking
gonna
look
look
at
at
it. Yeah.
it's-
But like now, if you tell a kid, I'm not saying us, but like if a kid says something, right?
Mhm.
Oh, I watched this crazy thing. If you try to look it up, a lot of stuff like that doesn't show up anymore.
Yeah, you have to dig.
You really
for
have
it.
to like dig. But do you think I don't think kids have the attention span or willingness to try to like, if it's not the first Google search, it's not gonna go for it, right?
Yeah. I mean,
That's where I'm in the unknown. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. That's
Because they're that old, what was it, the Bane fucking speech to Batman, the you adapted to the dark, I was born in. That's them. They're born in this shit now. We're on it, but they wake up and that's breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But I think that you're right at the like. I think you're going down the right track. That if nobody were to even mention that,
It wouldn't even be a thing.
then it
Because
wouldn't
it's
be a
not- 'cause it
thing.
wasn't-
And that's where I think the parenting comes in.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Possibly.
I mean,
I know everyone could probably make an argument for that.
of course. I mean, I don't think any of us here are parents, so we can only say so much, right? We can only relate to our experiences growing up as
Which are completely different.
to
now.
kids now. Yeah.
Yeah, to
but I
now.
think the three of us have very, like I said, we all have very
Yeah.
similar parenting styles from our parents, and
Yeah.
I think we all turned out decently okay through all the fucked up shit that we did go through on there.
I'm alive.
We're here. We got a podcast. Like, hey, what's up?
What's worse? You give a kid a fucking the internet, now he has a podcast. God damn it.
I'm alive.
Oh yeah. So fun stuff, right, guys? The internet is a interesting place. What was the most fucked up thing you remember seeing on the internet as a kid?
As a kid?
Yeah.
Okay, so the only things I really remember was Pain Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
That blue waffle shit was kind of nasty. That was pretty sick.
Uh-huh.
And Two Girls with One Cup. Two Girls, One Cup. That one kind of like low-key was like made me throw up. So that's why I remember it.
Mhm.
But other than that, I can't remember anything that really stood out. Like, I feel like my memory is kind of like blocked at that point, and like that stuff
That's
didn't
good.
come through. Yeah.
That's healthy.
Yeah, that stuff didn't come through.
That's what you're supposed
but
to
it's,
do.
But it's funny because like when you guys mention it, like
It just comes back in
instantly,
an
I'm like,
instant.
whoa, like holy shit, like.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Sorry for taking that wall down.
No, dude,
It's
you're
back
good.
forever.
Watch, I'm about to look it up. Is it still on? Is it still on here? Don't look it up on my computer.
I mean, I just Googled Pain Olympics, right? The website does not come up. It's just a bunch of other things. It's
Articles about it.
Reviews, articles, and there's like an album, I guess, called Pain Olympics. But a lot of, like I said, it's a lot of this stuff is just kind of like shoved under the
Yeah.
rug, where it's still there. You just gotta really like go
Dig
hard.
deep.
But it's
Yeah.
like if I tell a kid like, oh, Pain Olympics, they're like, what the hell? Pain Olympics is
up.
like an album. What? Like they're not
oh,
gonna
yeah.
understand the same things that.
That
like,
is true.
There was a subreddit called Watch People Die.
No way.
And-
It's like a black market thing.
It was up until, I mean, it was basically snuff films, but no, I don't think people were buying them. But I mean, it was up until like 2020 or 2018.
That's
or
crazy.
2019.
For now, they have Hold My Feeding Tube, which is similar, which is
No,
that's
no,
more
no,
like
no.
injuries, but not deaths.
Watch People Die was like fucking a dude in a bathroom just getting shot in the head,
Hmm.
and it's like, oh, this fucked up.
Bro, that's
It's
like black
7:30 in the
market
morning.
shit, dude.
Oh my god.
This is, oh my
I
god.
was just trying to take a shit and go,
Reddit's low-key a scary place.
It can
'cause,
be,
like,
dude.
You never know what's gonna be posted because like it's not super regulated that fast. You know, like it's like people
Not
post-
fast.
Also, the mods can be like kind of biased. They've
Yeah.
been going into
Yeah.
that lately.
Yeah, there's a
The mods are kind of weird sometimes.
They're into that shit.
No, yeah.
Oh, no,
I mean, if they
man,
made
I
that, if they're the moderator of the
Yeah.
subreddit, then yeah, they might have made it.
But
I mean,
Like,
that's any sort. That's any sort. I mean, yeah. That's again. I think Reddit is the one of the more regulated ones out of the other kind of like image messaging boards. Because
Is there any up still?
What do you mean? 4chan's still up.
4chan's up still?
Mm-hmm. I'm sure there's other like really fucking obscure ones that like only
just
like
don't
a
know
handful
about.
of people know because that's their weird shit. But like Reddit is, I think, has become more commercialized now, so where like you can't just have. If you went back to Reddit in 2008, right?
Mhm.
That shit was probably way
Wild,
different.
wild.
Like
Have you gone down the Reddit rabbit hole?
not a lot. I mean, I have my Reddit, but I'm not really like
No,
doing
about
anything, like, crazy.
how the creator killed himself and how it got taken over.
Because I'm
and
like I kind of know, but not too much.
that one's wild.
Mm.
He was a whole free speech guy, and he like advocated freedom of speech over everything, and that's why he made Reddit. And then when they started like selling and started getting like people who were kind of opposed to the free speech kind of
For
thing,
monetary reasons.
for monetary reasons, I think they either removed him or something like that.
Oh, no way.
And then he started becoming an activist.
I think
and then I think
removed
they
him from the
arrested
board.
him.
Yeah.
And
Holy
then I
shit.
think he killed himself in prison.
Mm-hmm.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was a freedom of speech like legend in that realm.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So now it's like really only like 4chan is like the one of the again like another like mainstream, but still a very kind of like unregulated space where
Regulated enough to block out QAnon.
regulated enough to see the potential danger of things,
Yeah.
but also just allowing people to.
It's
Be
loosely
shitty people,
regulated.
yeah.
Loosely regulated.
That's wild. That like QAnon was past 4chan's levels of.
Fucked up shit.
Yeah, like I can't imagine the other fucked up shit that's on there. And QAnon was like the thing that really set it off.
You've been on 4chan? You spent any time on 4chan?
I don't actually.
That's good.
Have you
don't
ever?
need to.
No. Every time you bring something up regarding 4chan,
Mm.
like this is news to me. And like I said, like I'm a bubble child. Like I don't really go out looking for that stuff and like or it doesn't come across my whatever. So I don't know about it. But then once you guys bring it up, then it's something that's like it piques my interest and then I'll look into it, but it's never like I'm gonna go in because it's something that I'm into.
I mean, I never was a 4chan person. I still am not. I still don't really know how to use 4chan. It's a very
like
rudimentary.
HTML.
It's a very rudimentary website. Like it's very
Is it really?
just bare to the bone. Like it's
Interesting.
it's text, line text, and pictures. That's all it is.
But it is okay. So I've never been on there. So what's the layout? Like, is it just like?
a piece of
If you were to go to if you were to go to
pull it
Reddit and go to like I think it's a subreddit called Green Text, you can see like posts like 4chan posts where it's just like all the some of them are funny as fuck. They're just weird. It'll be like be me, and it's just like an arrow and then like green text line, and then it's just that over and over again, just like if you were in like your terminal and you were just
Oh.
typing line after line kind of thing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you literally have
I'm
to,
trying
like,
to find like
read
an
into it.
okay one.
Okay, show me the fucked up one. Do it. Mess
Nah.
up my mind.
Go to poll.
Yeah, so I'll just do X because that's a good easy one. But this is all it is. It's just
Oh, okay.
text and pictures.
So each box is like a post from someone else.
I don't fucking know.
And they're all anonymous, but they have these numbers after them
Yeah,
to have like
that's like their
kind of a
profile.
It's like an
yeah.
ID number, but it's not.
What was it called
like,
again?
I
I sound like an idiot right now.
TM, not HTML.
No, that's what the website base is.
Yeah. I forget.
Interesting.
But
Wow, that looked really old. Like,
yeah, it's
Yeah, this is like prime internet 2000s type
Yeah.
shit, and they were like, no, we're gonna keep it like that apparently because nowadays people don't exactly know how to access that stuff, and so they think they're in like a kind of a club, which. But apparently, word on the street is that a lot of the memes that we see on Twitter,
Come from
Instagram,
4chan.
a lot of them originate from here supposedly.
this is
Interesting.
like
I didn't know that.
this is like grandpa.
Like fuck Jerry
Reddit.
probably made a lot of money just scrolling 4chan and posting them all to Instagram.
See, I don't think so because I feel like a lot of the stuff has to get filtered. So like it'll probably start 4chan, then it usually goes to like Reddit. And then Reddit will go on to Twitter, and then Twitter makes it to Instagram and Facebook.
Okay, you think that's
That's a pretty
how
cool
I feel. Like,
hierarchy.
that's how I feel like
Yeah.
my like line of
Flow map of everything.
yeah, of information, memes or whatever, wherever it comes from. Like 4chan is usually the base for a lot of things, just because
They're
there's
fast
so
with it.
much. It's a very as
The trends
small as it
change.
is. It's a very active website that gets updated by people very fast. So yeah,
That's wild.
It's,
Maybe I should go on it now. See what's going on.
I mean,
Said do it at your own risk. Is that what you're saying?
Kind of.
yes and no, because again, like there isn't a lot of stuff on the main internet isn't gonna be absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
There may be some stuff where you're like, whoa, like I guess I'll do it. I'll do poll for him.
Is that like a specific?
If you
forum
scroll this
thing?
kind of stuff, unfortunately, and I'll just say this from low experience, you'll see some fucked up shit that you may not have wanted to see.
Gotcha.
Like,
So at your own risk, literally at your own.
like abnormal fucked up shit that you're like,
Oh.
oh, I didn't ever even thought about something like that.
And that's on there.
Yeah, just stuff like that, and you're like, oh,
And this is all like
That's enough for
people
today.
posting their shit. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to find something racist, but unfortunately, 4chan, you're being good because I haven't found any pictures that
What are
are
they talking about right
overtly
now?
racist of Ukraine.
oh, that fits. Yeah, what are they saying?
I don't know. A bunch of other shit, but yeah.
just got blown
If we could do a 4chan, a 4chan episode,
Be the next
that'd be
episode. Yeah.
4chan poll scrolling. Dude,
It's definitely a website I would encourage a VPN on too.
Yeah, I mean, it's again.
I'm about to get on my computer now. Thanks, Tyson.
No,
No, you'll be fine.
yeah, dude. Like I said, most of the stuff that we are able to access now, like, not bad. You're not downloading anything off
That's
of
true.
4chan. It's more of just like a screen again, right?
Mhm.
You're not entering information. You're not downloading things. You just kind of scroll if you want to scroll, and you just we'll see what deranged minds are still up and on the internet.
That's kind of. You see, you're piquing my interest. So now I'm gonna
I mean,
look at it.
it's a
and
very
then-
it's a
Let me
very
lower your
interesting-
peak.
Okay.
So you're legally allowed to watch anything
Uh-huh.
that exists except for CP.
What's CP?
Yeah.
What's CP?
Uh,
Okay.
well, well,
The interest went like this now.
well, okay, so like
No,
like,
don't be
no,
interesting.
Oh, okay. All right.
I just don't want to say it because it's like kids.
We'll talk about this.
CP.
Oh, fuck that, dude.
That is
sick.
that is the only thing that you're legally not allowed to watch. So let
What?
that pull in like how much outliers you can see and it be legal, and you're like, oh fuck, I did not need
That's
to
some
see
fucked
that.
up shit.
Like
Okay.
snuff films are legal to watch.
That's weird.
Someone like raping a dead body is
Yeah.
legal to watch.
That's fucking weird.
That's
Yeah. Okay, maybe I won't.
so that's where I've seen some of it. I'm like, dude, fuck this.
He's like,
Fuck the
there goes my
internet.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
It's and again, like I said, it's definitely one of those places where it's like driving through like a new city where it's like if you don't really know where you're going, like
You might go into a wrong
best not to
dead
just
end,
start
yeah.
driving around and just seeing what happens because you might end up in a fucked area and
True.
it's not going to end well for you. I'm not saying you're going to get swatted, but you're going to, you might encounter some things where you're like, what the fuck? I did not need to
Oh.
see that, or
All
I
right,
did
yeah.
not need to learn that. Like, it's just like, if you know what you want, feel free because you can find a lot of shit on there. Again, like Reddit, you can find a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
useful information.
Really good information too.
But if you don't, like that's definitely not a place where like I'm just gonna just start clicking random things and seeing what happens. And you're like, oh, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Totally
All right.
different side.
Hyper-
You guys went.
Hyperlink after hyperlink, and then
Yeah.
oh,
Because it's still surface. Remember the iceberg
Yes,
we talked about?
yes.
It's still technically surface level internet,
But dive
but it
deeper.
has some deep like.
from my understanding, it's not
connotations.
moderated as fast, so the stuff that gets posted will just stay on there for like a day
Oh, but it's
instead
still
of
there
like
long
Twitter where it gets taken out in like 10
Yeah.
seconds. I don't think that the moderation's as fast.
enough. Dang. Imagine the mental fortitude you need to have
be a mod
to
on
be a
Reddit?
mod.
Or not,
No, on
4chan?
on literally anything. Like the mental fortitude.
I can't imagine.
Dude, it's like
That's
a full-time
crazy.
job.
Just because the
for
interviews that
some-
have come out lately about the mods is like, they look like they're driven mad. They look like Gene Wilder at the end of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, where he's just like driven mad, half his hair's
crazy.
wild.
Yeah.
It's I'm sure it could be taxing because all you're doing is just
Watching
reading.
fucked up shit.
You're just reading anything, right? And if you're like, it's weird, right? Being a mod, especially on like these more kind of like open forums, because it's like you're essentially playing a role of like God, of deciding like what gets to live and what has to die.
Yeah.
And you know, what did they say? Like, you know, humans aren't meant to play God. Like, it's a very like,
Yeah.
Stanford experiment.
yeah, it's
That's
weird. It's
crazy.
weird to be like in control of so many people and like have a say that can literally change a whole spectrum of the internet, because that's just where we are in life.
Yeah.
Because the internet is such like a, you know, open and vast place. Like, if you have control over that, like, you're, you know, unfortunately in control of a lot.
There's some deep shit, guys. I'm for it, but there's some deep shit. Holy crap.
This is deep.
Well, it's not. It's not fully deep. It's deeper than what we talk about on the podcast usually.
I did figure that.
But
Sorry about that.
no, this is hella cool. What's up, guys?
It's fun, man.
Yeah,
Like,
this is really fun.
It's
I like talking about
it's-
this kind of
ponder a
stuff, to be
lot.
honest.
It's it's not, you know, it's stuff that's real. You know, it's not like we're
making shit up.
I'm
Yeah,
not
no, I get
making
it.
shit up. It's just like it is what it is, right? It's something that we are still trying to learn and figure out as time moves on, because yeah, I mean, it's always been a very just kind of Wild West on this thing. And
I can't remember. Are we Web 3.0 right now or Web 2.0?
Web
We're Web 2.0.
Web
still.
3.0, I believe, is what they refer to when it's like
Metaverse
meta
shit, right?
type shit.
Yeah.
But again, I don't really know how much that's going to kick off, if that is going to be the new thing. But yeah, so we're still 2.
Have you tried it?
Metaverse?
Yeah.
I got an account on Decentraland.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Me too. It's weird. It's like it's like Roblox. You just walk
Decentraland?
but they have like other stuff. Yeah, you have
Yeah.
to. You could actually go in as a guest if you want to. You don't even have to create an account or link your
Yeah.
wallet or whatever. You just go in as a guest. It's weird.
I did some of that crypto. I'm the guy that did enough research into economics to figure out that it's good to spread your money out to everywhere. It could hit, could lose it.
The
I
Tyson
told myself if I lose every cent that I put in, I just have to eat
is.
it.
Yeah, dude. I mean, right now, it's
It's doing better than
yeah.
stocks.
Oh, is it? I haven't even looked at stocks.
I only have like Ethereum. Ethereum's been pretty like
There has-
reliable.
yeah, like I have some in Decentraland, and that's been. Doot, doot, doot.
That no, yeah. All the coin,
Yeah,
all the
man.
other coins they're gonna be up and down for a long time. But like, I don't know. Even stocks right now. I have stocks. I was telling Tyson I'm down like 15% this week.
Oh shit. Oh, shit.
The market's not doing good.
Dude, imagine being a stockbroker and like having to tell the people that you like giving you money, like, hey, I kind of lost it all.
It's bad.
Sorry about that. Like, what?
bad. It's not
Oh, my
good.
God. This is why I don't play, or this is why I don't do stocks, because it's hard. It's hard.
Stocks can be very safe though if you get into like the correct ones. It gets very sketchy if you were to get into trying to like
Penny stock. Like,
no. Well, if anyone were to tell you to get stocks, they'd probably tell you to get like blue chip, get like Apple, Visa, like
no,
like the
that's
stuff that
yeah.
in 20 years will still be there. Don't go for I don't know, something weird. But unfortunately, our world is ran on economics. So at the end of the day,
true.
I'm gonna try it. If it doesn't work, that doesn't work. It's fine.
It's all
But,
learning. It's all learning.
Yeah, I threw some money in
So
there.
how do you feel about, like, again, like this Decentraland shit? Because like for me personally, I'm not into this crypto shit. This shit is honestly pretty disgusting to me. I don't like it. But obviously you guys have your
I think right now it's still like in its building phase, like its starting phase. But like I feel maybe sometime in the future that it's gonna elevate and then everyone's gonna hop on. but right now it's very confusing. Like to go on and understand what the hell is going on with it, you kind of want to do your research, but there's so much stuff out there and it's hard.
Have you seen Ready Player One?
Yeah, yeah. That I would love to get to that point. But then I would hate to lose myself because I feel like I'd be.
You
stuck
saw
in
the
that
opening
world.
of the movie, how he started off in
Everything
a
was shitty.
5x5, like,
And everyone's like living
he was
their
only
life in that game.
yeah. That's the dystopia, the future that I unfortunately see out of stuff like this. Because people are already so wrapped up in social media
Yeah.
that you start giving people a one-of-one Versace jacket, and they think they rule the fucking world on some forum that doesn't actually really amount to anything in the real world.
It's all
we're progressing, just the wrong way.
It's all like you said, like when we talked about this.
I
in the
could be wrong,
beginning.
though.
No, it's like what we talked about in the beginning. Like you're always trying to one up someone, no matter what it's gonna be. And unfortunately, it's in the freaking metaverse where you're getting items that aren't even real for you. You know, like you're just doing it for.
Like Meta's cool for engineers who use like the VR and all that. They're able to build stuff. Like that's sick.
Yeah.
Like I don't have a problem with
Some dude
VR.
having Nikes.
Yeah, I don't
don't care.
Problem with VR because my biggest thing, my biggest comparison to a lot of this shit is just like we already have like VR chat, right? Which is totally free. All the assets are free. You can do a
Shit wild.
bunch of
It's
shit.
fun.
You can do a
I like
bunch
watching
of
those
shit
videos.
on there,
Yeah.
like. But then you have something like this where this fucking robe costs $57,000 and it does nothing.
It's a status.
Like,
It's the
why am I
status.
gonna pay like this money? Why am I gonna trade these things for a value when I can do the same thing for free on fucking on the internet where the internet is supposed to be free, right? Like this is taking the commodity of the internet to the whole nother.
That's like
fucking level.
NFTs in general. Like people are buying NFTs, which are pretty much like images or whatever. I don't know, for 50 grand or whatever, and then putting it out there because as a profile picture or whatever, because it's a clout, it's a status. Like you're able to do this.
I will also say the thing that the Web 3.0 like capitalized on so much is the supply and demand market that has
Yeah.
ran our economy for so long. They literally said, okay, we're gonna make one, and y'all fight over it.
And
And
look what
every-
that shit went up to.
Dude, like people that made 10,000 or 1,000 apes, and then you gotta get one of the apes before they sell out, and they're fucking $100 million. Like, dude, it literally we are so like thirsty for this supply and demand market that no matter what it hits, we're like it's gotta have value behind it.
I think it's just clout. At that point, you're chasing clout. Like
Exactly. So
That's
like,
Yeah.
like, what's the point of like even doing it?
Unless
Because
you're-
like it doesn't matter. Like
unless you're doing it to sell, to make actual real money.
But even
It's different.
but that doesn't help us.
yeah,
It doesn't. No, it
Exactly,
doesn't.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like this is literally just taking what we said on a free internet and trying to make it where everything again is just run by money. So you're like your whole life in the real world is essentially accumulated to I need to do something to make money so I can put it into virtual shit to make more money. Like
It's a never-ending vicious cycle.
Yeah, and that's why I don't really fuck with this
On
in
VR.
terms of like this or NFTs or anything like that. Personally,
On VR, there's a desk, like an app where you can be at your desk and you can plug it into your actual computer, like connect it to your actual computer, and you can be in VR at your desk.
Why the
People are going like in the future. I foresee people are going to be in VR doing jobs at their house that is going to be moving like a robot.
Yeah, for
at,
sure.
At like a McDonald's, that they're going to be like flipping burgers with their VR headset
I
on,
can see that.
and it's going to be like controlling something across the nation.
honestly,
I see it.
I feel like if robots could already do that without
They can basically.
yeah, then like there's no point like in someone sitting down in that virtual thing just to control that robot. And I don't know.
We're also a country that's driven on jobs, though, so we like to make people feel like they're doing something.
Add value.
What if we just give them the video of the robot doing it, and they're not actually moving it? The robot's just doing it on its own.
Watch Crazy Theory. Have you guys played BioShock?
I haven't, but I heard it's a good
great
game.
Okay.
Yeah.
BioShock. There's little sisters. Those are the little
Yeah.
things with like the big guys and the things that like and like with the drill hands.
Yeah.
The little sisters have this drug pumped into them, where essentially they see the world completely different than like the character that you're playing as, right? So
Yeah.
you're playing it and you see like
It's a
the big
fucked up
angry
world.
things,
Yeah.
and it's like, you know, just fucked up. But the little, like, there's a part in I think the second one or something where like you get to, you know, be one of the little girls. And the way she sees it, everything is beautiful.
Rainbows
like,
and
yeah,
unicorns.
there's the fucking butterflies and everything is
Yeah.
great, right? And they're like, oh, you gotta like, you know, pick the flowers in the, like as the little girl, but in the real life, like she's like harvesting dead bodies. So
Yeah. Shit like that.
What do you think?
Yeah.
So what if, right? What if, yeah, say like you're like, oh, I'm gonna be a robot at McDonald's,
Exosuits.
but you're you're actually like just committing like horrible like war
But you don't
crimes,
know
but you're
it.
shown
Yeah.
like, no, I'm just flipping burgers at McDonald's. I'm just doing this, but you're just literally like doing the
this, you're
commands to fucking
smacking,
just like,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
That's a wild concept.
That is a wild concept, and you know what? I could see that in the future, like that.
That's
happening.
fucked.
It is fucked. It's a fucked
That's
up
very
dystopia,
fucked. Yes.
but I mean, it could happen.
It's-
George Orwell,
it's-
1984.
Yeah, blind. I mean, yeah. If you're blind to the atrocities of your actions, you know, I feel like most people are more willing to commit or
That's true.
do what they're told if they're not, you know, given like. There's another experiment. I think you probably know, where it's like the pain tolerance one. Or like
They did those
Like
in-
someone's in like I'm in
Nazis
the
did those.
control, and like you're in another room, right?
Okay.
And
Oh.
they tell you like, okay, like you're, you know, or I don't even know. No, they lie. Say you're not in the room, but I'm on the control. And they're like, okay, so like you're gonna have to like turn this dial 1 through 6. 6 being the like most pain this other person has felt.
Yeah.
And they did some where they could hear like a person screaming every time they turn it
turn it.
up.
Mhm.
And there's other ones where like they don't hear anything at all.
And they're just like,
And they're just like, boop. Exactly. So it's the thing where it's like if you're not given like visual or audio like feedback of an
Yeah.
action, most people don't have a problem doing
I think it's because it's the
anything.
empathy. Like if you're hearing someone in pain, you're not gonna turn it up to 6.
Yeah, I mean they
but
say
that's
like, oh,
the
this is a bad guy. This person is in
Yeah.
prison, but we need to like get information.
This is
You're
like
gonna
the
help
red
us.
button theory that we were talking about
Yeah.
too. Like it's some crazy shit, man.
It is,
Crazy
man.
shit.
It's a very the brain and the way humans are, like we said, it's a very I don't know, man. It's a fucking
I'm a very strong supporter of magic mushrooms and LSD.
Does it open your view?
It allowed me to think in a different way than I thought before.
Really?
And since then, it's allowed me to dwell on that. Yeah.
Interesting.
And they're actually getting further into like their research now to give like therapy with mushrooms to people.
Is it like microdosing though, or
No. They give
Oh,
you a
it's
full
full
dose
dose.
and
Oh.
they drive you in, but it's guided. So there's 2 people sitting on a chair alongside like a bed, and you're just laying in a bed and just answering their questions, and then they tell you, okay, sit there for
They're
like
making
10
you have
minutes.
a good trip. Like, or,
No, they dive you in to what you feel like is wrong with you,
Oh shit.
and it helps people identify some of their problems that they had when they were a child. That's dwelled into like an anxiety that they can't drive away as an
Yeah.
adult, that they never knew like where it came from, but they knew it's always been there.
That's deep.
Yeah, it gets insane. Because apparently on some psychedelics, you can like open up some memories that you kind of shut off because
Yeah.
you have protective things in your head to say, this is a horrible memory. I don't want to
Yeah.
remember this.
yeah.
But then sometimes through the guided thing, you do, so you can fix the problem that you may have.
Yeah, I can only attest to mushrooms.
I kind of want to try DMT.
That is the wildest one. So I feel like you should.
So no start. Don't start that one.
There's levels to this
Gotcha,
stuff.
gotcha.
Like
Alright.
that one's 5 minutes of accelerator the whole way.
I heard
Like
it's 40 minutes, and you're just like,
40.
yeah, 40 minutes. Like that's your high. You're 40 minutes high, but in reality, it's like you feel like you're in there for 1 day, 2 day, whatever.
Maybe the after effects. All the research I've seen has shown between 5 and 10 minutes
That's
for
not
like
high.
the average. Well, it's not a high. It's a trip. They call them trips because they're not. It's not a. Ooh, look at that! You're
No, I heard you go to a
just
different
like
dimension.
just out of body. Like I'm seeing fractals and
You see the blue
tunnels.
the blue elves or whatever. I heard that's a thing.
So
Maybe.
I mean,
I haven't done DMT
sorry.
personally.
So it varies from person to person, but you can expect the effects of DMT to last up to 30 to 45 minutes.
Damn.
If you smoke it, about 4 hours if you drink ayahuasca.
Oh,
Um,
ayahuasca can last up to 12 hours, by the way.
yeah.
That one's
So,
insane.
I mean, it says 30 to 45 minutes,
That's a lot.
but
I've never taken it, so.
yeah. But
That's crazy.
in your experience doing psychedelics, just for people who haven't, like, because you know, right, like, I think there's always like that kind of like,
Scaredness?
not scaredness, but like I kind of want to say like a misconception of like what it'll do to you, because we were, you know, always taught like it's gonna like,
The 70s and 80s lied to you about
yeah.
drugs.
But you know how they're like, oh, like I'm gonna
Very
go
clearly.
like I'm gonna go into a trip, right? And the close one I think of, like, you're right, Harold and Kumar, right? You're just high as shit, and you're like, oh, look at this talking bunny, like, oh, look at all this like
Talking cheetah
where, like, the
over there,
trees
yeah.
are bouncing, like. That shit's not real. That does not happen at all.
I've never
You
seen
don't
that.
leave
Tenacious
anything.
D.
I thought I was going to see that.
No.
I wanted to see that shit.
Nothing like that happens. You were just
Sasquatch,
you were
Bigfoot,
just
whatever.
you were just super high, and you're just lost in thought. That's mostly what it is, from my experience. Again, I haven't done acid. I haven't done DMT. I haven't done anything aside from, you know, mushrooms. But with my experience with that, there are some visual like irregularities. But again, I had that notion of like, oh my god, I'm gonna see the fucking sun talking to me. It
Doesn't
never did.
your mentality also play a factor in like your trip?
Set and setting play
Yeah,
the
but it's-
entire role.
But it's not gonna.
Okay,
but it's
yes.
not gonna make you see the talking sun. Like none of that's the cartoons aren't gonna come to life.
You can put yourself down a tunnel
Uh-huh.
and continue down it. I had a buddy had a bad trip, punched me in the face while we were tripping one time.
Okay.
He
Acid.
he saw
LSD.
acid.
Okay.
But this was post like trip. Like this was 7 hours in.
Mm-hmm.
We were almost done. And me and my buddy were watching. I think we were watching Westworld actually. And we just heard some wild shit. And we're like, what the hell? And then no, yeah, this dude just lost it. Like apparently he wasn't going through a good place, and it was unfortunate. But you can drive yourself to some wild places, and that's why I do say it can be a dangerous substance. If you're a very depressed person and you're like thinking about like this is the end, I would seek someone out to guide you through it. I wouldn't do that thing alone, and I wouldn't encourage someone to say like this is gonna be my ultimatum.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I've heard of people taking like 5-MeO DMT and like having this sense of feeling like they died, and then that was their calling. That was their I'm ready to live again. It's
Really?
insane.
Interesting.
But that one is the same as it's like 10 times as strong as DMT. It's like you die and then come back to life.
Dude, that's
So
wild.
how have you know? I know you said like it's helped you like open up a lot, but like, do you have any kind of like of those like meaningful visions, or like how would you explain like a typical trip for you on any sort of?
When I do it, I like to take about 30 minutes to myself, between like 10 and 30 minutes, and I go into a pitch black room, and it is, I can't see anything, and I just stare out into the abyss, and I try to see what I see, and I accept whatever's about to come to me. A lot of times I just see eyes, just a lot of eyes looking back at me, the halves of faces, just halves of familiarities and stuff, and I use that and just say like what, like it's all put there by me, by the way. Like it's all my head that's telling me these things.
Yeah.
If you go in, it might be something different.
Okay.
Yeah.
When my girlfriend goes into a pitch black room, she doesn't see like this kind of stuff. When I was out, stars, they formed like faces and eyes, and it was so like I use that to tell me like self-analysis, basically. Why am I seeing this stuff? And I dive in on that, basically. Like
That's crazy.
I guess I care too much about people watching me, and I let it affect my day-to-day
Ooh,
interaction
that's an interesting
with
take on it.
stuff happening.
That's crazy. Whenever I hear someone take it, they're doing it just to take it. You know, like they don't have that self-realization or like really look deep into what they're seeing. It's just, oh yeah, I had a trip. This is what I saw. You know.
And that's where I feel like it is becoming a lot more legalized right now. So I feel like as the education increases and people further their reading, and it's like, well, why have psychedelic mushrooms been around for thousands of years? Why have all these tribes used them to enlighten themselves and help them through times of trouble? It's not just a party drug. Is it nice? Does it feel good? It feels great. Going on a hike on mushrooms, it feels great. But I always pause before I start to say, what is my main focus inside of me? While I'm hiking, I'm still doing an internal look to say, like, look how beautiful these plants are. Look, I enjoy myself
But you're
out
still
here.
in control.
Yeah.
You're still in control.
Always.
I've never lost myself. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I have never lost myself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Again, and I think again that like what Mitchell was saying, you know, set and setting is very important because yeah, if you are in a bad mindset, you can lose yourself, and then you kind of not necessarily lose control, but in your head you feel like you've lost control. Ultimately, you never do, right?
Yeah.
Because you're always connected. Your body will never allow you to just unless you have like really bad like a mental disorder where you have like multiple personality or something that really like makes you kind of like swap into things. But like for most hallucinogens, you're still always going to be in control. You're just going to be like really high, and you're just like, I feel just like
So you take it
Shrooms
as
is
you
a very
take
big
it, right?
body sensation.
Okay.
Acid is a very mental. Like, you feel in your body, but you are seeing insane shit.
Holy shit.
Like tracers, and lights are brighter, and lights are like vibrating somehow, and you're like, wow, that's beautiful. Like trees are like morphing, like the bark's like morphing together, bricks are like waving. Like, it's just, you really admire your surroundings. That's why it's always good to do it in like a pretty place.
Interesting. Yeah, that's crazy. See, I've never done it, so I don't know. But
We'll do it for the show.
Patreon exclusive.
that would be great. Yeah. I mean, yeah, because on most of the times where I've done mushrooms, again, I haven't really done like a super huge dose to where like I was emulating a
The Terrence McKenna experience.
yeah, or a, you know, essentially like a really, you know, like an acid trip, right? Because mushrooms are, you know, typically pretty low on the hallucinogen scale, depending on how much you take. So most of this time that I've taken it, I mean, again, like what Mitchell said, you feel your body feels very kind of just like, feel a lot of things. Like I said, I was seeing the world kind of like be a little wavy, but you know, I was more just like out, right? You're outside and you're kind of just like trying to figure out everything. At least in my experience, I was kind of trying to understand like
Yeah, I've done it a few times now.
like just trying to understand everything, but you just feel like it feels interesting. Like it's a very interesting feeling for mushrooms, at least. So I can imagine the more you do, the more intense, you know, the visual aspects get, and stuff. But
I saw the world. I was in Pismo when I did it last,
It's a great
the only
place.
time I did it, and so it was overcast, and I was on the dunes, and I'm like looking out at the ocean, and it looked like the end of the Truman Show. Like it looked like I looked like I was at the part of Disneyland where you just walk into a wall. Like I was like, what the fuck? Like, and it looked like there was like giant beings just like surrounding. I was like, oh, I took a breath and I was like, let me just turn this way and look at some plants for a minute.
Mitchell saw the world for what it is. We're living on a big set of just what's it called?
Sometimes it feels like that.
That's interesting, man.
Yeah.
I've never. Yeah.
But I encourage people to do it because I think that they learn more about themselves, and I think that at the end of the day, they learn without like sounding weird. They learn how to treat people better because they get an understanding that we're all in this together a little bit more. At least I did, and I've seen some other people that were kind of similar. So if everyone took it, everybody over the age of like 20.
yeah,
Maybe
Yeah,
maybe
I don't know.
19.
Like, maybe.
yeah, it's
That's your right into adulthood.
That's your right into adulthood.
I mean, it probably was at some point in human history.
They tried in the 60s, but it didn't make it past the Harvard experiments.
Yep.
There's a lot of research on that stuff that I feel like is going to come back around nowadays because a lot of people are getting more interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
It all kind of got shut down by the government because they found out that they couldn't mind control people with MK Ultra type stuff. And so they basically said, no, we don't want anyone to have this.
Interesting. I didn't. Yeah, this is all.
Apparently Russia
You don't know
had
about
a
MK
huge...
Ultra?
I do know about MK Ultra,
okay.
but I didn't know about all these experiments that they're doing in the 60s. You said? Yeah, 60s. I didn't know about that.
LSD played a huge part in the 60s for.
It's called the miracle drug.
Oh, really? Dude, that's interesting.
It made people who were about to die content with the fact that they were about to die.
Holy shit!
It
It's
helps.
Like your last,
It helps
like your
cure
last-
alcoholism. Like it did good. A lot of good stuff for people who were near the bottom of.
It's Schedule 1 still.
Well, yeah, but I mean, saying then when they were trying to figure out what it was and what it could do, the tests that they ran found they were like, oh, I mean, it does help. But yeah, fun times.
Man, interesting times. Like, I've never taken it, so I'm taking y'all words for it, and yeah, maybe I'll do it. But I feel like my mental state isn't where I want it to be at when I do it. You feel?
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll do it on the podcast.
Go
I
to
need to
Joshua
relax.
Tree.
I heard that's I heard that's a crazy place to, or not a crazy
Go
place.
look
it's
at
a
the
good place
stars.
to do it.
I
So
almost
Stars
shit
at
myself when I was out there.
really,
That's not good.
Well, I mean, I was on mushrooms and I was like, oh. I
Did
gotta
you get
shit.
that effect?
Yeah.
Said
This
it's
was
coming.
the one time.
It's coming.
All the other time, I've done it like maybe 3 times.
I didn't get that, yeah.
3 or 4 times. Never had it. This last time I was in Joshua Tree, like maybe 2 years ago, I was like, yep, I'm going to throw up and I'm going to shit myself. I was like, yep, I'm not having
That's
a
when
good
it's
time.
not fun.
that's when it's not
Yeah,
fun. That's a bad.
I
Side
had
effect
acid
right
one
there.
time where I felt like I was gonna I was just always on the toilet. I was more constipated than I was like feeling
Yeah, I
like I
don't
had to
think
shit
anything.
myself.
I don't think I did, but I just felt
some-
ill. Like I felt like,
Sometimes your
It's
tummy
kinda like
hurts.
yeah.
well, especially with like mushrooms, because mushrooms is essentially like a fungus. So you're just like eating like just shit that your body's like, well, what this does not need to be in your body, and then you're just like, throw it
I was
up.
trying to like
Yeah, I was trying
get
to
out of
expel,
it. Yeah.
but I was like, oh, no, I'm writing it out. I'm writing it out. Then I was like, nah, I'm gonna
Watching the stars while
shit
trying to take a
myself.
shit. Like,
That'd be funny. Just
beautiful,
Ultimate release.
beautiful.
I will say though, to like anyone seeking out any of those substances, a high amount of research is probably needed before. Just because you want to make sure that where you're getting it is okay, who you're getting it from. There's a lot of pesticides and stuff out there that you don't want included in like your grow. And apparently, I just learned about this recently. There's a lot of like synthetic LSDs, which will give you a very similar effect, but it's all lab made. It's all, and so LSD 25 is a derivative of like argot, which is like a mold in like a rye plant. But instead, they figured out how to like synthesize that and turn it into something else. So the basic ones are all healthy.
Yeah,
The synthesized
the
ones
lab ones.
can have problems.
I believe it.
So know your sources. That's why legalization would just make it easier, just because it would make it more safe.
Regulated. Yeah.
Like, I'd work for a lab making LSD. It'd be a sick job. What are your perks? A sheet a week?
I get LSD. What more do you want? What do you get paid? Oh, I don't. I just take LSD.
I don't.
I get paid in LSD.
Just get LSD.
I couldn't do that. That'd be funny.
Well, cool. E-Man, do you have any last bits of information you want to drop? Or anything else you want to talk about?
Kind of blanking out right now. I guess be safe.
Come on, give it to us, E-Man. You got something?
Don't talk to me in your 50s voice.
You got something?
I had a topic list in my head, but I can't think of it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, man, it's all good. Mitch, you got any last remarks or anything else you want to get into real quick? On your side?
What's a contrary idea to the American capitalism that we have in place right now?
A contrary idea?
Like a counter idea that could work in its place?
that we have in place now.
No.
Oh,
To
that we
oppose the system that we have in
Oh.
place now to try to better our system. Because I don't think that the American capitalism is traditionally going to work forever.
I don't think so. Yeah, I definitely don't think so. Oh no, that's hard. Because I don't want to base it off. I mean, like again, like it's all money. So I mean, equal wages, maybe. I don't know. But on top of that, I just think understanding that your life isn't made to be just working all the time to live. I think that would be a great place to start, and like put in like processes or whatever to kind of help that further along. But I don't know. That's a hard question that I would have to think about, and I'll get back to you on it.
Here, comrade.
What you got, Ty?
Oh, hello. Okay. Say it again, bud.
Here, comrade. Yeah, I don't know.
No, you know.
As much as I would love to see communism work, probably won't. I mean, socialism is probably the closest thing that we could get to. You know, a people organized and people first world. But people, I don't know. People don't make money the way big businesses do. So, I don't really know.
Yeah. Put me on. You got me a little stumped right now. I gotta think about it. But I will get back to you.
And you?
You're gonna have. Yeah. What is yours? I gotta hear it now.
Well, so the one thing I do like about social media is it's allowed people to see things that were never seen to us before, and it's allowed people to travel from their living rooms, and which is it can be very helpful if used correctly. So right now we have like warriors on their phones that are ready to at the bat of the eye for Iran and Ukraine and Iran. Sorry. But all these places, so it's like there can be good that grows out of it.
Yeah.
We just need to learn that we are all narcissistic and we are all pieces of shit, and we all need to own up to it and accept that we need to show other people more care than we show ourselves. And somehow we need to teach our children that, even though we don't have enough maternal or paternal leave to even raise a child properly nowadays. So we need to raise those and allow people to even try to raise someone in this fucked up world. And no, like you said, people need to learn that, hey, the dollar is important, but we shouldn't use that as a measurement tool like we do with inches and miles and stuff. Yeah. Like, at the end of the day, get this, we're 4% of the world population, and we consume 25% of the world's resources. That's
fucking wild. That's wild.
And we don't even have kids that know where some of these resources are coming from. They're not even educated enough to know that, like, Bolivia is like the second largest blueberry growers in the world, or that California almost went to war with Iran for the pistachio fucking thing.
Dude, like, you're putting knowledge on me right now. I didn't even know that.
But agriculture is very important. We don't show like farmers and all that stuff a lot of support, but that's where it gets hard because it's a big circle. And there's so many individual problems that we have. So people in the designated sections need to somehow fix their sections. But it's a hard one. I agree with Tyson, though. If we could all just worry about each other and like people's happiness, whatever system in place would do that, that'd be sick. But it wouldn't work for very long because we are, like I said earlier, the same as we always have been. And what was the guy's name? Who killed? Was it Abe? Not Abe.
Abe Lincoln?
No, not Abe Lincoln. The Bible story.
Cain?
Cable. Cain. Yeah, Cain.
Cain and
yeah,
Abel.
Cain and Abel.
Oh, he combined it.
I said Cable. But like, I mean, you can look at all those stories and find the truth in them. Even you'll kill your brother for fucking money nowadays.
I mean, like, history repeats itself in one way or the other.
So people need to take note of that. We don't have enough people that take note of that. They're like, we'll be fine.
I mean, everyone's focused on their own life in their present time. They're not looking for the future, like, for generations to come. And that's the fucked up part.
Travel more.
See? Heard it here first.
Go outside. Find a favorite tree. Fucking find a favorite bird. Start to respect some of the outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
I like that stuff.
Oh,
like
beautiful, man. I think that was really good. That was a fun episode. I think we really got into a lot of good stuff. Like I said, usually not the type of stuff we usually talk about on the podcast. So if you didn't
Sorry
like it,
about
who gives
that.
a fuck. But I had fun, so.
No, fuck that. Yeah, we enjoyed it. We enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
it was great having you on, man. I love you and I appreciate you for coming on and
Love you too.
doing the dang thing.
It was fun.
Thanks.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Do you want to, plug yourself with anything, social media or?
Nope.
Nope. Just
If you know me, you know me. If you don't, you don't. And if you'd like to, then talk to Tyson and E-Man.
There we are.
All right,
Heard
buddy.
it here.
Well, that's gonna do it for this week, folks. Eamon, yeah, where can they find you?
You can hit me up on Instagram at MadSnap. Everything else I don't want you to find. Thank you again, Mitchell, for coming on. It was great having you, and it was great to speak about all this different shit that we don't usually speak about.
Problem.
So it was awesome to change up the pace a little bit.
It was fun.
So Tyson,
Yeah, of course, you guys, and make sure you guys go follow this show everywhere at Too Good For You Pod. That's Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Patreon. Patreon.com/Too Good For You Pod. We need 2 more subscribers for you guys to get your little Patreon exclusive incentives, to have E-Man watch a scary movie and for me to go to a horror amusement park. So if you guys want to go support the show for $5, go ahead to patreon.com/Too Good For You Pod. And yeah, you can find me on all my socials at DJXFaro. I'll let y'all figure out how to spell that because we are all adults here. And with that, folks, we'll catch you guys next week.
peace.